If you're overwhelmed running your agency and you're trying to juggle how to communicate with your client, how they're going to get all their invoices, how can you tell them about all of the progress you're making with their projects? Look no further than Softr. We're going to be breaking down how you can create your very own client portal in just a few minutes. You're going to be learning how to get started with Softr, how you're going to connect your database, like using Airtable or Google Sheets, and how you can change the permissions and customize your client portal for the needs of your business. Let's get started. To begin with, we're going to go to softr.io. If we click templates right here, we're going to be taken to the templates page. This allows us to start experiencing the different template and even preview it. If we click portal on the left-hand side, now we can see all the different portal templates that we can use for Softr. I'm going to click on client portal. Once we're here, we're going to be able to click preview so we can preview the client portal ourselves, see what it looks like. And when we're ready, we can say use template. Once we click use template, it's going to allow us to use it in our account. If you want to get started for free and have 1 month free of the paid plan, use the link down in the bio or the comment section down below to get started today. Let's go ahead and click use template. Okay, so now it allows us to use this client portal right here. I'm going to say use template. Then it's going to ask me to select a data source. I'm going to click Google Sheets, and then I'm going to click continue. Now, right now, it's copying the data from, it's actually making a brand new Google Sheet. So it's making me a database, and then it's attaching it to this application. So it says, hooray, your app is ready to go. Data between Google Sheets and Softr app is now synced. So I'm going to go to the application. So now I'm going to go and preview the application in the studio right here. Now you might be asking yourself, well, wait a minute, where's the data? What is this data that it just made? Well, when I connected my Google Sheets account, so my Google Drive, all of those things, it just made a copy of the client portal by Softr. So you see this right here. If I click on it and I open that tab, it just made a copy for this template. So it gave me dummy data. Now, if we look at this, this has a user sheet here, clients, projects, invoices. So now it's giving me all this information. So when I go into the studio, I can preview and have all of this dummy data right here if I want to. Now, once I'm in the studio right here, I can preview the different pages. For example, this is the home page right here. But if I click on the left-hand side where it says pages, I can navigate to different pages. Now, you might be asking yourself, wait a minute, Doc, what if I want to bring in my own data? What if I want to bring in a sheet? Well, we're going to be previewing that in just a moment. Let's click on pages right here. We're on the home page, but let's click on pages. We're going to go to projects now. And once we're here on the project page, say for instance, we're seeing like my projects here, but I want to bring in my own data. I want to have my own sheet and all of those things. Well, if I scroll down, you see how I can click on this button right here, the add blocks button. It's a plus sign. Now I can add a block. I can now bring in my own data if I want to, right? So here, this allows me to see dynamic or static blocks. Static, it's going to bring in more of those elements that you see on websites. So I can bring in a header, I can bring in all different types. Dynamic allows me to bring in a block of data that is dynamic, things that move. I'm going to be bringing in a little bit of information from the sheet that I want. So I'm going to click right here. It says list with vertical cards. I think that looks good. I'm going to click on that. And here I get a chance to bring in my own data. Now you see where it says source right here. It says select data source. I'm going to pick Google Sheets here. And now it's asking me where or what document, what Google Sheet do I want in this right now? I'm going to pick my client portal one right here. And then I'm going to pick clients. Now, when I go there, now this is going to change a little bit and it's going to allow me to add content from that page. So I'm going to go over to content right here. And now I have filters, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to change out the item fields over here on the right hand side. So you see where it says image? I'm going to go for the drop down right here. Where it has image, I'm going to say content. Instead of that, I'm going to put logo. Now you see now my logos show up from this. Now to look at where this is, we're going to navigate to the Google Sheet here. This is mine that I just made. I'm going to go from, instead of users right here, I'm going to say clients. If you look at my clients, it is client Disney, Cartoon Network, and HBO. You notice that Softr's already made a Softr record ID because I just brought these in. And I want to now change out a logo, right? I want different information right here. So this is all information that's being brought in right here. So now I have the logo. Say, for instance, I want to change the heading, right? It says heading 3, all those things. Let me see if I can zoom in on this page. Oh, let me go back right here. I tried to zoom in a little bit too much. I was getting an error. Let's say that I was going to go for the content for heading 3. I want it to be client name. Now here it's now changing, and let me zoom in a little bit more. You'll see that it's Disney, Cartoon Network, and HBO. So now it's matching based on what I just brought in from my Google Sheet over here. All right. So Disney, Cartoon Network, HBO, all of those things. Now, say for instance, I have text in all of this. I don't want this right here. I can do a couple things here. I can just, for now, I'm just going to hide it. Okay. So now we just see this. Now, if you look at the logo, it's not perfect yet. So I'm going to go over here to the little brush, and this is going to allow me to do content styling. I'm going to change the size a little bit, height here, and then for the background size, I'm going to, instead of cover, I'm going to say contain. Now that I have it contained, it looks a lot better, right? So we have this right here. Okay. So we have the source right here. This looks okay to me. Okay. So now I have a section where I'm bringing in my data in this section right here. Again, my source is right here. That looks great. And now if I want to make other changes, I can decide, but this is the basics. I'm connecting again my source right here, clients, all of that kind of stuff, and I'm ready to go. Now, again, like we said, the if I want to get rid of the like all categories right here, I'm going to content right here. I click on the 3 dots and then I say delete. So I can change the filters right here, delete. And now I have more area here. I can still type here to search, but that's all I want. I don't want to add the filters right now. Okay. So I have this information, logo, client. Now that's great. But say, for instance, you're saying, well, that's great, Doc, but I actually want something else here. I want users instead. Where would it be? Well, if I can navigate back to the sheet, I can go here and I can go to users. Okay. So I'm at users right here. I'm at Doc Williams. All right. And then it says profile details and email and all those things. Right. So say, for instance, I have a source here. I go back to source. Instead of clients, I want to go to users. So I can go there. It's now pulling users in. It's going to think about its life for a moment. And you're saying, oh, okay, wait, the content's there, but now I need to change some things, right? So I have the source here, that's its users, but now the item fields, now I need to change some things. So the client name, I can switch over. And it says client name can no longer be found. It may have been renamed or removed from your data source. Okay. Now I'm changing it, right? And I'm going to pick name here. And it says Doc Williams. So my name popped up. Okay, great. What about the logo? Right? Logo, I want an image. Okay, where would I get that? Now, if you look at this for a second, it says profile details. It doesn't have my profile picture. So here I can change profile picture, and I need a source. So I'm going to go into a source. I just have it right here in my Firebase account. I'm going to grab this picture. I'm going to have the profile picture right here. Add it. Okay, that's great. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add, oh, wait a minute. Wait, profile details. It's not there yet. That's right. We have to go to source here and we have to update it. So we're going to refresh it. We're going to refresh that information, refresh it, go back down to logo, image, profile picture. And now we have my picture right there. So as you're looking at this, as you're making changes, you can look at as you make changes in your database here, you can go back and resync it and refresh it, and then it's going to update all of those different things. So keep in mind, as you're making these changes, as you're manipulating this, you can see the difference of how the back end, where it's storing the information, it's storing the data, it's affecting the front end right here. Now it mentions create details page for users. Let users click on each item to see more details. If I want to, I can click create and it will make an additional page for me as well. So as we're going through this, remember the Softr Studio. This is going to be the front end. It's going to be giving your application all of the styling for what it looks like, the cosmetics, everything that you're going to be using for the application. The back end, how it's connected to your Google Sheet, that is what's going to make your application smart. And we see syncing it together, connecting it, allows us to have a great application that aligns with what you need it to do for you personally. Now, this is a block for dynamic information, right? If I click add block here, and instead of the dynamic block where I'm having information or it's calling information from my backend, if I go to static, I can now go and decide what I want, maybe a hero section. I can add a hero section right here. And now when I have the hero section, I can go on the right-hand side of the page and now change the title if I want to, or subtitle. So I can have the simpler way to sell. I can say the simpler way to sell your stuff. Now, as I'm adding this, you see how it changes. It reflects right here. Same thing with the subtitle. I can just say add details later. Now I have that. I can change out the image if I want to, but really remember, add blocks that are purposeful for you. Now, we just navigated the different pages. We went from the home page to the projects page. But remember, we can navigate back to different pages that we want by simply clicking the pages section right here. But that's not all that we can do here in the studio. From this section, the theme section, we can change the typography, we can change the fonts, the different colors. And remember, the theme is going to be changing the overall look and feel of the application, the theme. For users, we can go to users, and in this section, we can look at what's connected. And remember, we mentioned what are we using? We're using a very specific database, so we can navigate to those different things. So for the users, we can see the users that it has right here. It says connected users, open spreadsheet. I can say remove connection here. And again, that was from the template. I can bring this in right here. The source is my Google Sheet. I'm going to navigate to my new one that I have, right? Client portals. And then I can go users here. And then I can map out the user fields. So here, email, email. name, name, and I'll go from there. It says generate temporary password. I'm going to say yes. Save and sync. Almost there. It's thinking about its life for a moment. Okay. It was saying there. Okay. Sync complete. Refresh table. Okay. So we have Doc Williams right there as my users right there. Okay. Open spreadsheet. Users right here. Okay. So we have Disney right here. We have Doc Williams right there. Let's see if it's going to have my picture. Yep. Okay. Okay. Now that we have this synced, this is good. Now, if we want to change something, right here we have Doc Williams right there. If we want to change some things or remove, we can click on these. Say, for instance, these names. Okay, we have it. Selected names. Okay, cool. All right, we have that right there. And if you look at it right here, Magic Link, we can decide what we want to do with it as well. So we selected those users. We can say action. We can delete them if we want to. Let's see. And here we're going to do delete forever in users. Okay, so we just have me right here. I've mapped out the fields. If I want to add new people right here, I can add single users or do a bulk import as well. Okay, so that's our users. We have everything there. We see it. There we go, the reflection. Okay. And then from there, we can go to settings. So the settings section, we can go to general. So general will be able to look at if we have an assigned subdomain right here from Softr, or if we want to, we can bring in our own custom domain. Or data sources, we see our data source, where it's coming from. Integrations, this allows us to see if we want to bring in other integrations like Google Analytics, Google Sign In, Google Maps, depending on what we need for our application. Also, if we on the business plan, we can do mobile app. SEO, so if we're going to be doing search engine optimization, we can start working on that as well. And depending on what we need, we can have more things found in our settings. So now that we've navigated to the different pages, we've gone to the themes and the users, it's also important to note, what do you need to how do you need to experience this application? Now, we just made some changes. For example, on the pages, we went to projects page. We saw that we had the section where, scroll down, where my profiles are, my users. Now, no matter whatever we decide to make changes for ourselves, it's important that we preview it, right? So let's go to pages real quick. We're going to go to the home one. And here, we're going to make one change. It says Grow Lab is a creative growth agency. We're going to change this. We're going to just say Brand Factory, right? So we have that. We can decide, first of all, we can preview the application. And we can preview the application in a couple different ways. At the top on the left hand side, we can see we can preview it as a user or a non-logged in user. So if we want to preview it as an admin under Doc Williams, we can do this, or we can just do it as, again, ones that aren't logged in. Depending on if you're going to bring your own data or if you're going to be using the template and then bringing in dummy data, there's going to be other profiles that you can preview it if you decide to go that route as well. But again, we're focusing on bringing in our own data based on the roles and what we're going to have for the permissions. That's what we're going to be seeing, or previewing it as we go through the application. One more thing that we want to take a look at is as we're building out these pages, we're going to go to see how we have 11 different pages, but the home page, we see that there's no icon where the lock is. If we see the lock right here, it says logged in users, right? That lock determines who's going to see your that page. So as you're navigating, as you're seeing this lock right here, you can now you can now look at the different page rules. Now, if you want to change some of the page rules, where you see 11, where it's the 11 pages right here, where it says page rules, now we can start looking through the progression of what they're going to be experiencing, what's going to happen when they sign in, right? So it says user groups, after sign in, after sign up, after sign out. This allows you to have a progression of the onboarding of your users and what's the experience, where are they going to go, what pages are they going to be interacting with. So those page rules, it's really important as you're building a client portal for your use case, for your agency, for your business. It's going to really depend on your workflow. Where do you want them to go and why? Again, the template's going to do a lot of that work for you. It's going to have all of those, presets made, but for you, you might want to change it over time. So that's important to note as you go through this as well. So after you do all of those things, you preview the app, you decide what it looks like on desktop, tablet, on mobile, then it's time to publish your application once you're satisfied. You click the publish button, and once you're done, the confetti falls, and you're able to now go to that published application. You can click the button or also just copy the link, but now you can experience your very own application that you have for the client portal. In the comment section down below, let me know what kind of agency or what kind of business are you running that you would like a client portal for. Remember, this is for agencies, but there's many different use cases. And remember, if you want to try this, if you've liked this video, if you like the progression and you see this being a benefit for your business, sign up for Softr using the link down below in the description, and you'll get 1 month free for the paid plan today. So again, check that out if you're going to be doing that as well. As you're going through this, remember, take your time, go through a progression of picking out the template, connecting it to the database or the source of information that you need. Either if it's going to be from your own information that you're going to link it, or using it with the provided dummy data for the template that you just downloaded. And make sure as you're going through this, you're linking it to the right sheet, to the right page that makes sense to you. Map it out based on your needs. This is just an example. We have users, clients, and reports. Make sure that you map it out in the fields as you're bringing in this data. If you like these kind of videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. If you want to see more Softr videos, more in-depth tutorials, let us know in the comment section or shoot us an email, and I'll see you in the next video.